Hey guys, this will be your assignment for, I guess, Wednesday, the 11th, just in case there's any inclement weather that'll be there. This will give you an opportunity to stay up with chapter 19, section 2. So I'm going to flip it over here to your MyHRW. So that'll go on there. Page 536. Just kind of give you a little bit of an overview on it. It says identify the successes of early Ming emperors, describe China and Korea under the Qing dynasty, and describe life in the Ming and Qing China, the way that they lived through there. So, kind of give you a little overview of what's going to be in this chapter. It says the Mongol rule in China ended in 1368 when Hongwu led a rebel army that took control of the country. He declared himself the first emperor of the Ming dynasty, which was to last for almost 300 years. Hongwu began his role by increasing the amount of food produced, improving irrigation, and raising cotton and sugarcane. He also made changes that improved the government of China. Later, he grew suspicious and untrusting. He caused the death of many people whom he suspected of plotting against him. His son, Young Lu, continued his better policies and also launched a major effort at making contact with other Asian peoples. So basically, trying to reach out and grow the country of China itself. So, beginning in 1405, an admiral, Zheng He, led several voyages to Southeast Asia, India, Arabia, and Africa. The goal was to impress other people with the power and wealth of China. He also wanted to convince them to pay tribute to China each year. So he was wanting to tax the people that were out there to be able to fund the expeditions and also fund the growth of China. It says by sending gifts each year, these people would recognize that China was superior to them. Gifts did flow to China, but scholars and officials said that the voyages wasted valuable resources. The journeys were stopped after 7 years. China allowed Europeans to trade officially at only three ports. So they were very protective and very guarded against the entry of the Europeans, and very well so. They wanted to make sure, that they kept hold of their independence from the West and to be able to stay with a strong economic tie, but also themselves, staying true to China. It says manufacturing never grew very large in China. It says there was a legal trade that took place along the coast, just like with anything else. China tried to isolate itself, but other people who saw profit decided that they wanted to make that money. Europeans wanted Chinese silk and ceramics. People began making large amounts of these goods. Europeans paid silver for them, and that was something that the Chinese coveted very much. The Confucian ideas that shaped Chinese thinking said that farming was a better way of life, so manufacturing was heavily taxed. They kind of discouraged the idea, polar opposite of how China is today, as far as that one. They're very heavily relied on manufacturing. European missionaries entered China at the time, bringing both Christianity and new technology. The power of the Ming dynasty declined because the government could not solve several key problems. There were rebels from Manchuria, a land to the north of China, which took control of the country in 1644 and started a new dynasty called the Qing. And I know it's spelt with a Q, but pronunciation wise, it's the Qing dynasty. At first, the Chinese people did not accept the new rulers who were not Chinese. However, the Qing emperor won their support by taking steps to improve conditions in the country and by preserving Chinese traditions. Two emperors were the most effective. All right. They ruled from about the year 1661 to 1795. And then the major one was China Han. Okay. China Han there. It says they brought China to the largest size, increased the wealth, and sponsored an increase in artistic production. So a lot kind of like the Renaissance that was going on whenever whenever the Renaissance was going on within Europe that was there. All right. It says the Chinese insisted that Europeans had to follow certain rules in order to continue trading with them. The Dutch were willing to do so, and they carried on the largest share of trade with China. The British, though, did not agree to follow these rules. This disagreement later led to the conflict that broke up China's empire. In China, the production of rice in the long period of peace gave the people better lives. In the 1600s to 1700s, the number of people in China almost doubled, rising the number to more than 300 million people by the year 1800. The huge majority of these people were farmers. Because of the use of fertilizer and better irrigation, they could grow more food. Just like with any other civilization, with more food, they were later on able to have more humans because they could feed them. They also began to grow new crops brought over from the Americas, such as corn and sweet potatoes. As a result, the level of nutrition improved, which led to the growth in population. Women, however, suffered in this period. Sons were valued over daughters, mainly for the idea of continuing the family lineage and also being able to work on the farm. That was a big deal. It was felt that only sons could carry out family religious duties and tend to the family farm. For that reason, many infant girls were killed and adult women were given few rights. I know that sounds very harsh that you're, killing infant girls. But at the time, their thought process was that they had to contribute, and they were looking for sons, and they didn't necessarily want another mouth to feed as they were on their farm. And again, very very harsh considered uh, by our social standards today. Very different in different times within the world. The invasion by the foreigners from the Manchuria and the pressure from European traders bothered the Chinese. Artists created books and paintings that showed traditional Chinese values and ideas. Again, a lot like the Renaissance, the realistic idea of their values and ideas about Chinese history and heroes who were popular. They helped to unify the Chinese people at the same time. A feeling of national pride also was rising in the neighborhood Korea, a land that had long been dominated by China. Okay. So, using your chapter 19, section 2, everywhere that you see a black heading, like for instance, the rise of the Ming, okay? If you go to the next page and it goes to the idea of the voyages, Ming relations, and so forth, okay? Every time you see a black heading, China under the Qing dynasty, I want you to write a single question about the excerpt that is there. That will be your notes for chapter 19, section 2. So if I'm here and I'm going to start where the rise of the Ming is, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. I want you to do the Forbidden City on this page. Write one question about the Forbidden City. So that makes 4, 5 here, 6 here, 7, and on the last page, 8 and 9. Okay, so there should be 9 total questions for your assignment for your notes for chapter 19, section 2. Okay, I'll also post chapter 19, section 2 quiz. It'll be available for you. I'll allow you, of course, like I said, you're at home, so you'll be able to do this using the internet, using your notes, using your MyHRW in there. So it won't be a lock you in or anything like that. So on chapter 19, section 2, fill that quiz out for me and use your book and use your notes to go along with it. There will also be an announcement that is made on there to either send you to a discussion board to check in or a Google form to check in, along with your YouTube video that will have this on it. So make sure you kind of checked everything on Canvas, get everything you need, turn it in, and you guys have a great day. All right, have a good one.